Nice.
Man, I had to step it up because I should have known you would have came through.
Dude, this is the thing. Like, even like unless I'm going to Walmart, I'm putting a suit on. I don't know what it is. It's ever since I went when I went into the Army, and that's the first time I started wearing suits. We had Mr. Hollywood. He's been doing suits for the MPs out there for, I don't know, 40-something years. And I'm like, all right.
Out in Japan?
No, this is in Korea. This is in South Korea, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, this is after I got out of the Marines.
So it was a guy that just wanted to, like, make suits for soldiers or what?
Yeah, I guess that was his thing. And it was just for military police. Like, it wasn't, I don't think he was, I'm sure he was doing it, like, out in town and stuff for, like, locals. But, like, once, like, I saw that he was making suits, I'm like, all right, well, I'll try it. And I bought one. I was like, man, this, I mean, it was perfectly, like, fitted to me. Like, I'm like, this is me. Right, and ever since then, like, it was no matter what I was doing, I was putting a suit on, and I ended up getting like 5 total from them over the like course of 2 years, and now it's like every time I go out, I'm throwing a suit on.
No, I appreciate it, man. You were actually like, the only one I think on a plane that like still wears a suit, at least a Southwest flight.
I know, right?
I was like, dude, no one. People on Southwest just dress like animals. Like,
dude, you know, I mean, to be fair, it's like you were like, okay, I'm gonna wear some pajamas because this is gonna be very uncomfortable regardless. You're sitting next to, you know, somebody that you got maybe an armrest you can, you know, fight with somebody on that.
Right.
But no, we were lucky. We got what we.
Well, they didn't have first class.
No, that was our first class though.
Boarding group A. If you ever fly Southwest, you know what I'm talking about.
That's right. Yeah, get on there and. You know, go talk and ask if you can be in boarding group A, and you get first pick. So,
do you always get it?
No,
it's active duty that gets to go on first, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, they have like if you're like in a wheelchair or something like that, you can. I know like there's special things that you can that'll get you on first, but if you go and ask like, hey, look, I want to pay to get on like boarding class A, you know, that's what we did. That's like $40, but other than that, yeah. So that was the first time I'd done that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my second time I've ever gotten the front
right
of the plane. Usually I fly right by it because someone that sits there is always coughing.
Really?
Like the first thing you do when you get on the plane, you just hear, and your kneecap takes a hit.
Yeah, man. It was a pretty good experience because like I think the seats behind us were smaller, weren't they? Like there was like maybe 2 rows of those. It was almost like economy. Like they were a little bit bigger, and I think the rows behind us were a little bit smaller.
Well, we just had no one in front of us, so it's like
the leg room was
that, and then the exit rows.
Right.
Everyone else is just sardine mode.
The exit the exit row or like the very front row, the leg room is so great. Like that's why like if I can't get up there, and if you can give me an aisle seat. Okay, I can scoot over like this, you know, because me and you both like we're 6'3", you know, we're pressing for leg room.
Yeah, no, I'm aisle or nothing usually.
Yeah,
but I took the window that time because the leg room, regardless.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then we had that space in between us. Like, all right, we're gonna just share this.
Yeah,
and hope no one sits in that seat.
No, it's weird, dude. Yeah, for those that don't know. Yeah, I think I was flying back from the Utah show.
Right.
Yeah, and I was just like, damn, I'm going to go sit in the back of the plane. I'm like, oh, this is my last shot to get like some good leg room.
Right.
And then, yeah, now you're here.
I know, man. It's a crazy, crazy journey that we met like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like we just started bullshitting on the plane. Just started talking and just hit it off. I think I give you my card, talk about like maybe building a website or something like that.
Something happened where I was just like, damn, I need a website. And you were like, oh, that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool.
Well, Carly does, you know, she's the one that does all that stuff.
Right.
I'm just, she'll even say it like I'm kind of like the face of like I go talk to people and, cause I'm really good at talking to people and just, I can talk to anybody really, like obviously, cause I was like, hey man, what's going on? You know?
Right.
And, so it's always been a good quality I've had. It's just like I'm very, I guess you could say, extroverted or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's something that I've been using to our benefit. So since we started our company.
Yeah. I thought you were like, I didn't know what to think because I was like, all right, he's wearing a suit, tatted, but then like reading a book. Like, who is this fucking reformed prisoner?
No. That's basically what it is, though, man. It's like, I was in the military for like 8 years almost, and that's where I got all my tattoos.
Right.
And the book I was reading was it's called The Old Breed. I forget the author's name. I feel Eugene Sledge, I think is the author, and it's a great book. But it's about this guy, it's a Marine who joined the military during World War II. His dad was trying to keep him. He was a physician that was trying to keep him from joining the military.
Oh, he was a draft dodger.
Well, no. So, he had like I think he had like heart palpitations or something was going on with his heart.
Right.
And his dad was a physician.
Allegedly.
Like, yeah. So he's like, no, I want to go. He's like, screw it, I'm going. So he joins up and he goes to boot camp and he just writes about it through his tour in Japan and everything he had to go through and stuff like that. So it's pretty good.
You were out in that's when you told me you were out in Japan with the Marines and Korea
with the Army. Yeah. No, I had a phenomenal time in both. Crazier stories in Japan, but definitely a great time. I mean, it was like it really. If I boil it down, it was a vacation, and I mean, really, it was because
you hear that, ladies and gentlemen. It's like an Army recruiter. It's a vacation, kid, and then 2 months later, they're getting shot at.
Right. No, that was the pitch for sure. It was like, you want? He's like, what do you want to do? You want to travel? I was like, I'm like, hell yeah, I want to travel. And that was the pitch for sure. My recruiter gave me, which he gave everybody. They gave everybody else.
Right.
Like, yeah, you could go all over the world.
They bring the pull-up bar to your school, and they're like, "Yo, let's see who's ready."
Yeah, but don't forget, you're gonna hate your life for the next 4 years, but you will travel. But no, it was a lucky situation because the fact that the base I was stationed on in Okinawa was so small that the higher ups weren't on our base. Like we had higher ups that were on a base like a little bit further down, Camp Foster, and we had a couple staff NCOs and a lieutenant that was in charge of us, but they after 5 o'clock they were going home to their families, on another base. So you had a bunch of little degenerates running and in charge of the whole base at night, and we took advantage of that for sure.
That's crazy, man. It's like half the people I meet that are former military, I'm like, did you enjoy it? They're either like, fuck no, I still have shrapnel in my skin. Right. And then like the other half's like, dude, it was literally like a vacation. I would honestly sign up again.
Right. I mean, yeah.
But I already have the Camaro that they gave me. What is that? It's like there's like special rates at like Dodge and Chevy.
Oh, it's horrible. No.
Every like kid that I knew from high school, they immediately got like some Dodge Challenger.
Oh yeah, no, that's like,
what is that?
That's a stigmatism. Like that's okay. So like when you go like if it's the first duty station, like we even have briefs about it. It's like don't go get a brand new Camaro or a Mustang, because the interest rate's like 26%, and as much as we tell the military is like not to do this, there's always that one. There's a 10% that goes out and they go get a Camaro, they go get a Mustang, and these dealerships know it. They know they got these 19-year-olds that have a guaranteed check coming in for the next 4 years. So
right.
They're not going to miss any payments. So they're going to, they're jumping on it. So yeah, man, I think I've won the entire 8 years I was in. I think I had a truck. Which I bought from my dad, which I didn't really buy. He gave to me, a GMC Sierra, and I had that for maybe 2 years, and that was it. But I could have easily gone out and gotten. I mean, I'm sure they would have sold me a Lamborghini if they could have. If they would have known I had a contract long enough, they were like, "Yeah, man, give it to them."
Yeah, like the payments match up.
Right. This makes sense. You make about 25.
Let me go upstairs, talk to my manager, see what I can do for you.
Right.
Like, all right.
We brought it down from 26% to 25%, and that's a great deal. You're not going to get that anywhere else.
Look at that. It's just 8 years.
Yeah. Like no. So
8 years, 24% financing.
You're literally paying for that car like twice by the time you're done, and it's just ridiculous, man. And it sucks because they do take advantage of like ignorant.
For sure.
Ignorant guys that are just getting into the military. They're like, oh man, I'm getting a steady paycheck. I'll definitely be able to pay for this. And obviously they want to be able to use it to their advantage. Be able to get a brand new car and stuff. But Okinawa, you couldn't do that. You had to be a staff sergeant or at least an NCO in order to even get a driver's license.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
So you're just in Japan, no car.
Yeah, no car. So it's all taxi everywhere you go. But funny thing is,
crazy.
but this is before Uber Eats or like DoorDash ever came out. We had they had a Popeyes. I think they had a Subway, and maybe a couple other I think Pizza Hut was one of the restaurants on base, and they delivered. Like they had like Popeyes delivered, Subway delivered, like all these. So like you could order anything. So I'm like, dude. I mean, I had a mess in my barracks room. I got popped because I'm
like a frat kid.
Yeah, so I'm from Louisiana, so I'm like all about Popeyes. So like, I can have this ordered to me. It's like, and they don't charge extra. They weren't.
Oh, you felt back at home.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't. I mean, with the humidity, everything was pretty much the same anyway. So,
just a lot more Asians.
Oh yeah, so many. Yeah, the only Americans there are military or dependents. Like that's it. Right. Like there's no all the contractors were local nationals. So Japanese was the only people you saw outside of military.
That's why they don't have a very good basketball team.
Dude, you'd be surprised, man. We played some basketball with these with the Japanese the gate guards and the interpreters and stuff.
Oh yeah, they had some ups.
Dude, I wouldn't say they had ups, but they had skills for sure. Like there's some, they're fast. Like I'm talking, just they'll move in between you and stuff like Bugsy Mogs. Just running around like, and they're quick.
Their turbo was permanently on.
Oh yeah,
their controller was broken.
Super fast. Yeah, man, they were good though. We would always go and play basketball with them. But yeah, it was a good time for sure. Not to mention all the crazy stuff we had to do. Man, that was the greatest thing. I think the reason why I liked it so much is because I kind of had like freedom to we were able to do whatever we wanted to, but also like we didn't have someone micromanaging us while we were doing.
Because you weren't the highest ranking. Just for the people that don't know, you were military police, so you could basically you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing.
Right. So like the badge itself technically represents I think it's the general. I could be wrong about this, but it carries the rank of a general. Like so basically, yeah. So like when I say that, it means like basically if you got like a 1 or 2 star general walking around and they do something they're not supposed to, I have the authority to arrest that person. So like that's they can't order me not to arrest them basically.
So being an MP is like a little cheat code.
Yeah, kind of.
Little R1, R2, yeah, L1, R2, left down, right up, left down, right up.
But everybody hates you. Like every MOS hates you, basically, because they know like you're kind of like the blue. We call it a blue falcon in the military, a buddy fucker. But that wasn't really me. Like I would, I never wrote any tickets. There was a couple of times where I did some searches, but most of the time I was just going on calls where it was just Marines being crazy or stupid, even so many situations like that. Like the story I was talking about the other night. Like, let's see, I'm trying to remember how that night started. I know we ended up getting a call, and this is just one example. I got plenty of them. Well, I was training a guy, and he big guy. He's probably taller than us. I think he's about 6'5". My friend Blaylock. I mean, that's just big, huge, just ripped. But I mean, he was fresh.
Brock Lesnar type.
Right. Yeah. So we're in PMO, or we're actually. I think I was in the car. And when I'm just like going over some paperwork or whatever, we get a call like, hey, the barracks duty on Schwab, and he rattles off the number, and we're like, oh, that's the recon barracks, Force Recon, and like, oh shit, here we go. Like they're always, if Marines are intense, they're twice as intense. I mean, they're Marines too, but they're special forces. So like,
so you had to go like respond to a call,
right?
Of like straight killers.
Basically, yeah. We all consider ourselves killers, but I mean, recon, like, that's like, they are that's the Navy SEALs of the Marines. Basically.
Right, you're all there to kill.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
not get it twisted.
Right.
But these are like
the special killers, like they're like super good at it. And they got more tools to do it with.
Gotcha. Prestige mode.
Right. So they get the call, and the barracks duty says, "Look, I got a Marine here, and he's going around trying to stab everybody in the barracks because he's super drunk." And he's like, "Well, I've already taken about 7 knives from him." And I'm like, "What? And he has more? So like this isn't like done? Like I need to come and get more knives off of this guy?" He's like, "Yeah." So we try to get as many knives off of him. He keeps trying. Every time he tries to stab somebody, we get a knife from him, basically. So like supposedly he was going in for a stab. They would disarm him, and then he would.
Holy shit!
He's like going to get another knife, and he does it again, and so like they're disarming him. He's like, "Hey man, we just need you to come here and take care of this. Like just let him like sleep it off somewhere." Like,
so just a drunk special forces Marine charging people with a knife, and then they're just
basically that's
disarming them.
That's the story.
Live action training.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude.
So I'm hearing this, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm like wondering, in my head, I'm like, okay, well, this guy, he's drunk, but he still knows exactly what he's doing, and I don't have the special training that these guys have, but we're gonna do it anyway. We'll go down there, and I'm like, all right. So I'm like, oh, I got Blaylock with me. I'm like, okay, so like I got my muscle with me, and so we're driving down there, and this is a base. It's like 45 minute drive away, and we're the only, like, there's no police on that base at all. So like only time we ever go down there is like maybe twice a day to check it out, but other than that, they got free reign over there. So we get the call. We're driving down there. Like I'm putting my lights and sirens on so I can get there as fast as I can. We get to the barracks, and I talk to the dude. I'm like, "Hey, look, we're here. Where's the guy at?" He's like, "I don't know. He's in his room." I'm like,
holy shit.
I'm like, all right, well, like, how big is it? How big is this guy? He's like, oh, he's about he's about as big as your guy right here. I'm like, holy shit, man, really? And this guy's running around with knives, right? And he's like, yeah, he's I think he's in his room. I'm like, all right, well, I was like, give me the master key. We're gonna go up there, and we're gonna try and disarm him. So I'm like already thinking this is just gonna end bad, So like, so there's a protocol. Like if someone's just trying to fight you, you only go one step above that. Like, so if somebody's trying to fight you with their fists, use a baton or OC spray, like pepper spray. If someone's got a knife, you got to go one step above that, which is a gun, right?
Got you. It's like high level rock, paper, scissors.
Right. So, so basically, so we get there. I got the master key, and I'm talking to Blaylock. I'm like, look, we're gonna go in. I was like, I want you to throw the door open. I have my pistol drawn, like I have it just like right here, and thinking like maybe if he lunges at us, like we gotta put a round in him, But
right.
Obviously, you don't want to do that. And this was like worst case scenario in my mind. I was hoping like it was just gonna be like,
dude, I would have probably been like, yeah, it's been fun, guys. Like,
right?
Japan's been a blast.
This has been great, but
taxi.
I'll see you later. You go take care of that shit yourself.
I don't know, dude. I would have been. And how old were you at this time?
Let's see. I was probably 21, 22 years old.
22, and they're just like, hey man, you gotta go. We've already disarmed this guy, but we need so what was why would they call you if they have their whole unit there? Well, they just didn't want to deal with him anymore?
I think so. I think because we're the last person they want to call, believe me.
Right.
Because they're not, they think if we call the MPs, like we're screwing over our guys. And that's the last thing they want to do.
Oh, so they feel like they look at you as like the cops, even though they're kind of all
right.
Cops.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because they think we're going to come there, we're going to write up a report, we're going to throw them in jail, and they're going to get this. They're assuming, like, they called us as probably assuming that this guy, he's going to be like, he's going to the brig. He's going to prison. Yeah. He's going to get his rank torn from him and everything, demoted. But that wasn't a real big thing we did on Hanson. Like normally we were like mediators kind of thing. We went in there and like, hey, look, don't do this again, kind of thing. Like that's how we did it. I mean, there were some that were by the book.
Dude, someone tries to stab you 7 times and you're like, hey man, can you just go to bed?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's
the fact that they just disarmed him like so nonchalantly. Like anyone that got rushed with a knife now would be in therapy for the rest of their life. He came at me and I didn't know. They would just be like a wreck. They wouldn't even be able to function.
Right. Well,
and they're just like, dude, we're trying to go to bed. This guy's going full Call of Duty on us.
All right, I know. And the thing is, like, I remember the dude. He was laughing, like he's like, I don't know where he got all these knives from. He's like, he just kept kept coming out with more and more and more. I'm like,
holy shit!
I'm like, oh, that's great. So yeah, so we're at the door, and I got my pistol drawn, and Blaylock, he's the one going through the door. This is to the best of my recollection that he's the one that opened the door, and I'm just like, I got the gun, I think I asked him to like push it open, and I was just gonna pull up. So we got the master key. We unlocked the door.
What's going through your head as you're like putting the key in the door? You think he's like right on the other side? With a knife?
Basically. Well, I'm thinking we didn't even know if he was in there or not. We just assumed because like we couldn't find him. We searching.
Holy shit, dude.
So that was like this is where we think he is, and maybe he's there to grab some more knives or whatever it was. But I was hoping that it wasn't going to be like too serious. Like maybe I would open up the door and he's like, who the hell are you guys? And
he's just playing Xbox. What's
what's
up, guys?
That's what I was hoping. But I was obviously
sorry about the knives.
Like, hey man, you can't be going around like trying to stab people and stuff. Like,
Oh my god.
So finally, I got we opened the door. He slides it open, and I got my pistol just like this, and like I'm like pulling in, and I get into the corner, and then he's laying on his bed, passed out, like completely out, just done.
Could you see his hands?
Well, I could see he had one hand underneath his stomach, like underneath him, and then he had another one, like I believe, like was hanging off. But so I'm like, okay, and I go, okay, he's passed out. So I'm like turning to my partner. I'm like, look, that's a big dude, right? Like, that's a big guy. Like you need to. Okay, this is what's gonna happen. Because as soon as we touch him, he's going fucking Rambo. Like
you still had to get him.
Yeah, we still got to put him in handcuffs because I'm assuming like I'm not gonna just like wake him up and say like, hey man, we need to bring you back to the police station where you're gonna be completely screwing your career over, which is not what we were intending on doing at all. But that's what's gonna obviously go through his mind when we say, hey, we got to bring you back to PMO. He's gonna go like crazy.
I would have just shut the door slowly and been like, he's asleep.
He's asleep now, guys. Y'all handle it in the morning. Good. So yeah, well, since we got the call, like we're writing this report down, like everything that's happening to him, which may or may not eventually get lost. But so I'm like, look, my partner, he's got the weight, he's got the strength, like he can handle this guy, just for a second enough, like long enough for me to get handcuffs on him. So I'm like, all right, look, this is what I need you to do. And I'm trying to talk to him, like, go up. And I need you to put your knee on the back of his neck, and just hold his arms down and as close as you can, so I can just boom boom put the handcuffs on, and then we're good. Like after that, if he goes crazy, we can tackle him back down to the ground. I would have been outside
practicing my handcuffing on my buddy, like seeing how quick I could do it. Like, all right, I'm ready.
So like you had the chain cuffs and you had like the hinge cuffs. Like if you hold the hinge cuffs right, you can really get both of them on at the same time.
Oh, it's like one unit.
Right. It's a little bit easier. I think I had some of those. I'm not sure, but regardless, we got the handcuffs on him, and he just didn't know what was going on. Like we're just like, hey man. We're gonna bring you back. We're gonna just talk to you for a little bit and just see what's like. What's going on? Saying like he had no idea. He had blacked out completely. And really, all I wanted to do was just kind of like get him out of there and just let him sober up. Basically, that's all.
So you got him like pretty quick.
Yeah, it was he. So he puts his knee on his back. I put the handcuffs on him, and he like wakes up and like jerks, like, because he doesn't know what's going on right now. He thinks he's like
He's having a flashback.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's having a back. He like
shit.
throws back, and Blaylock is a big dude. I think I showed you a picture of him. I'm not, but
now he's built like a brick shit house.
Oh, dude, Blaylock is huge, man. Like he was essential in making that arrest for sure. Like if it would have been just me, I mean, I always say I could have asked like the duty to like help me and everything, but
right.
Just having him there with me was definitely essential for sure.
So when he woke up, was he like?
I'm pretty sure he was just like he gave us a good jolt back, and he like held him down, and we're like, hey man, look, we're trying to bring you back to the police station. I think talking just kind of like you're not in trouble. We need to ask you a few questions, sort of thing. And then I think we put him in the police car, drove back, and once he like starts to sober up and everything, we call somebody from his unit. He'll get an ass chewing for sure.
Right.
But no paperwork is the best way to do it because he's very good at his job. I would assume, but you don't want someone. That's the one thing. Like you don't want to screw somebody over that because we talked to the people we talked to everybody that he had tried to like stab. And they're like, no, man, he's good. He's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. All this. Yeah, no, for real. Like, this is like, like, no, he's not a bad guy. He's just having.
He tried to fucking stab me.
Yeah. So we're like, look, man, we don't, like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to do any paperwork.
Right.
We're just going to let him sober up and we're going to release him. But we got to release him to like a staff NCO. Like, we got to release him to somebody in chain of command that's going to, like, knows what happened. And we're not going to do anything. If y'all are not pressing charges, if they are like, hey, no, I want to press charges, then we don't have any choice. We have to do something. But obviously, we were just trying to get a story like, hey, what happened? And I'm like, oh, man, he's good. So
it's like, sorry, guys, you know how I am when I drink tequila.
Yeah, man, just knives start flying around, sort of thing.
Did they ever find out where he got all the knives?
No, I don't remember. I don't even think we had confiscated I think like 2 knives, and I don't know where the rest of. I think the duty had them, and they had kept them in the desk. We didn't like if we were doing like a thorough investigation, we would have had we had all the knives confiscated and evidenced and all that stuff. But that would have been a long process on our end, and that would have completely screwed him over. But
yeah, I guess you really can't take like Marines' weapons either.
No, I mean
they're like, you shouldn't have these. Like, guys, I kind of need those.
Yeah. I don't think those were like
those are my work tools.
I don't think those were issued. But yeah, so he ended up making it out all right. So like he was fine. We released him to his staff sergeant, and he was probably like, hey, don't do that anymore.
It's still crazy to me that you just disarm someone like you're an older brother.
Yeah,
you're just like chill, like
right. Yeah, man, that's what it is, man. Like you talking about like a tight knit group, like recon, like all units they're a tight group, and I can only assume that they're that recon barracks is even closer because they're doing so much more together all the time, and they're like, yeah, man. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, there's the other time this is another recon Marine where we got a call where this guy what he was doing was he was running around base, and he was like screaming and just being kind of belligerent, but nothing too serious. And so we I guess they have on Schwab where he was, they have an ambulance in a fire station, and I guess every time like they went to go check up on him, and they would put the blood pressure strap around his arm, and there's like a little pump, like a little portable pump that would pump up the blood pressure. Right. And
it squeezes.
Yeah, squeezes and gets the blood pressure and everything. Yeah. So they're just checking on him, make sure he's okay. He's real drunk, but he thinks it's an IED. He thinks it's a bomb.
Oh shit!
So he starts freaking out, and it's like they call us to come, like just settle him down. I'm like, all right. So we get down there, and he's just kind of sitting down, just hanging out. And I'm like, I go over and talk to him, like, hey man, what's going on? You know, he's like, I don't know, man, just hanging out. It's like, all right, well, look, they just need to check on you. They're gonna let you go back to the barracks. He's like, no, man, I'm not doing that. I'm like, all right, well, look, this is something that's gonna happen. You know, let's just do it real quick, and you know, and that'll be that. And he's like, all right. So he stands up, he agrees, and then we're walking over, and then he just takes off running. I'm like, what? Why are you running? I mean, like, you're not in trouble at all.
Right.
You know, like, we just want to check on you and make sure you're okay. And so, like, I started chasing after him, and I eventually catch up to him and tackle him. Luckily, there's this, like, on Schwab, there's this, like, cliff. And you probably wouldn't die if you fell off of it. You'd be pretty hurt. And, like, I'm, like,
it's
running.
Not ideal.
Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not like a fun a walk in the park for sure. But so, like, I'm seeing him. He's running straight for it. And I'm like, well, he's about to just jump. You know, so I was lucky enough. I caught up to him, tackled him before he got to the cliff, tackled him. And I'm like, man, you can't do that, man. You got to work with me. He's like, all right. And so, like, I put him, like, I sit him up. And I'm not putting him in handcuffs at this point because he's just not in trouble. He's just running from us. And he's like, man, you know, I could loot. I know these woods out here like the back of my hand. And I'm looking around and I'm like, there's a palm tree over there. Like, there's no woods out here. So he's just completely out of it. No,
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he ends up running again. Like, after I get him, I'm this whole time I'm trying to get him back to the ambulance so we can check his.
He just keeps stealing base.
Yeah, he just keeps stealing base, and I keep tackling him. The third time I tackled him, he's like, "All right, man, all right, I'm done." Okay, and then he looks up and he's like, "Now say thank you." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Say thank you," and I'm like, "For what?" He's like, "Making your night interesting." I'm like, "Oh my god."
That's a legend, dude.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? Thank you. Because he was making my night interesting. Like, I was having fun, you know, chasing this guy down.
Yeah, something to do.
Right? But, you know, just making sure he was all right. So, but yeah, that was another interesting fun night we had for sure.
That's nuts, man.
Oh, yeah. I got a bunch of those for sure.
How long were you in Japan for?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years of just chasing drunks.
Yeah, basically chasing drunks, like breaking up fights, watching fights, and then when they're finished, getting into fights. Goodness, I mean, I was getting into fights. Seemed like just as much as I was breaking them up. Seemed like, you know.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair, I was kind of like, we had like everyone. Since it's such a small base, like everyone knew we were the MPs. Like if we went out in town, it was called Kentown. There's a small little town where everyone goes. Like, even people from other bases will come there to drink or party. So, if we were going out, we'd normally try to go deep because if we run into somebody that we arrested the night before or whatever, we had to have a group with us, you know.
So Marines would just meet up and fight?
Oh, yeah.
That's so weird, dude. There's no, like, same team?
No. I mean, like, only your unit. Like, they had infantry units. This is the most fights we had on our base was infantry units fighting other infantry units. Like, one was getting relief. Like, one might be coming back from Afghanistan or something, and they would meet up with a unit that was coming in to maybe relieve them or go to another spot. Both infantry, but they were just different units, and they would fight. They would get in fights all the time.
About what?
Just like, our unit's better than yours. You know, your leadership is, you know, shit or whatever.
You boys ain't seen combat?
Right, something like that. Yeah, so they would just fight. You know?
That's crazy. Well, I guess that's better than just going out and beating Japanese people. It took it out on themselves.
Luckily, that didn't happen too often. They weren't. Like,
there would have been a whole Stop Asian Hate campaign.
Oh no, they had
years ago,
bro. They have scheduled protests for they come. They we knew when they were coming. Like, they would schedule it with the. I don't know if they scheduled it with us or whoever, but they would schedule protests and they would come sit at the gate and they would, you know, America, go home. You know, USC, go home. Like, bro. Like, you know, we're here for you guys. Y'all don't have a military, you know. Like, this is, but it wasn't like violent or anything. So it was pretty peaceful. But yeah, so
like, next time you guys come to the gate, bring some sushi.
Right? Yeah, the
sushi. It's like a yellowfin roll.
Right.
I bet the sushi out there is crazy.
Oh man, it's so good. It is. I mean, it's as fresh as you can get it. Literally, like you're sitting in a restaurant and they're bringing it out back. A boat's pulling up because like the island is like, I don't know. It's like I had to look it up. I think it's like 10 miles wide.
Yeah, it's almost a sliver.
Yeah, and then long wise, I think it's like maybe 100 miles long. Maybe not even that. I think it's like, I don't know. I have to look it up. It's probably like it's 75 something miles long.
Did you ever feel stuck, like Rikers Island type, or what am I thinking of? But why can't I think of the name now?
It's with Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, like the
Rikers Island. I think that's
New York, but the San Francisco. Why can't I think of the name?
It never really felt like I was trapped, you know, because like really the only thing on our mind was getting drunk and you know hooking up or doing whatever it was. It was we were either working or we were going off base and drinking and partying. Like that was literally our routine, or fighting, which is normally involved like all three, So like I know like my buddy who's out here, like if we were, this was one night we were going out. This is before we even went out. Like normally we'd talk, like maybe we'd talk to somebody, maybe, okay, who's going to throw the first punch or who's going to instigate this? So like sometimes we just knew we were getting into a fight. But this is before we even got off base. We were going out and we were going to the ATM, and the staff sergeant was in front of us. He's just in line, and it's me and my buddy Brown and I think Warfel. Another buddy Warfel was with us, and maybe one or two other guys. And so we're just waiting in line at the ATM, and the staff sergeant turns around and he shows my buddy Brown a picture of his wife, like nude picture of his wife, right? And he's looking at it and like, oh, it's nice, and he takes from and he gets back in line, and my buddy Brown's like, hey, let me take another. Let me get another look at that. And the guy turns around and is like, hey man, that's my wife you're talking about. And we're like, what? He's like, my buddy Brown's like, you just showed me a picture of her. Like, what do you, I just wanted to, see it again. And the staff sergeant, like, they just punches my buddy Brown in the face, and then they start going at it. And my buddy Brown's like hitting him, and they're fighting. And I got to pull my buddy Brown off of this guy because he's hitting him. And I'm like, we're not even out yet. Like, we haven't had anything to drink.
It just seems like out of boredom.
Right? It is, because like
why else would he show you that?
Dude, I don't know.
A photo.
I didn't even see it. Like I was just there, And man,
you guys not have like internet there?
No, we did. It was real slow. That was when
this was before like Instagram and all that.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, everyone would just be in their bunkers just scrolling.
Basically, yeah. No, we had internet, but it was it's definitely not like it is now.
Right.
But yeah, man, we went out there, and then I think another fight ensued, where we're walking out into town, and this guy like was by himself. He's like trying to like walk through us, and we're like, hey man, go around, like he's like, well, I can't go around now. It'll hurt my pride. What?
Because you told him to go around?
Yeah. He's determined to walk through us.
Right.
Because if we made him walk around us, that would hurt his pride.
Because he'd be like, I ain't no bitch.
Right. And my buddy Brown, he's like, well, you better swallow your pride, dude, because you about to get effed up. You about to get fucked up, basically. So I'm like, oh, here it comes. So I knew this was going down. So I immediately, I'm like, all right, let me just go ahead and de-escalate this real quick. I'm just going to, So I get behind him, and I'm just going to put him in, I'm going to just put him in a chokehold. I'm going to bring him down on the ground, let everybody go, let him up, and then, well, that was kind of what happened. But I go behind him while he's trying to talk his way through our group. Like, there's like 8 of us, okay? And, I think my buddy Welch was like, telling him like, hey man, this is not going to end good for you. But so like I'm behind him while he's distracted. So I get him in a chokehold, and I'm just going to, as soon as I get him in a chokehold, I bring him to the ground. My buddy Brown, he must have hit him 5 or 6 times before. Like I went straight to the ground. It wasn't like I'm wrestling with him in the air and like trying to bring him down. Like I went straight down, and he got hit in the face like 5 times before he got to the ground.
Damn. You were trying to help him, but
yeah, I was trying to help him, but my buddy Brown was like, "Nah, this dude needs to get hit in the face."
Damn.
So
Combo.
Yeah, so he gets up, he's all right. I take his hat and I throw it. I'm like, "Go, dude, get out of here!" Like, and he eventually walked around. I'm like, that he ended up getting the better end of that deal because he would have had other he would have more problems if we would have stayed there, like hitting them or doing something else. So that was just
it just sounds like boredom and
it is, man.
Lack of women.
Yes, that is another thing. Yeah, because there's like maybe 3 female Marines on that whole base.
Yeah, and they're probably basically men.
Yeah, we call them Wookies.
I'm a Marine. A Wookie.
Oh man, there telling another story. Though this is like a personal thing. But this is just me. We were drinking at the barracks, and like at the E Club, the manager will actually go out in town and get some local Japanese girls and sign them on base and bring them to the E Club. So Marines will actually go there and they'll get more business. So we go there. Or we're not there yet. I'm at the barracks and I'm just drinking. I'm hammered, basically. Sorry, Mom. But so this guy comes out. He's like, "Hey, man." He's like, "You want to go hog hunting?" And I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah, I want to go hog hunting." So like I go back in my room. I go grab a K-bar. I grab some 550 cord, and I come back out. Because they got hogs out there in Okinawa. Like, they got these little bitty hogs that run around and stuff.
You're just allowed to, just like in America.
Yeah.
Free range.
So he's like, "Hey, man, you want to go hog hunting?" I'm like, so I go run in. I'm super happy. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. We're going to kill a hog. So I come out with my knife and my rope, and he sees me. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?" I'm like, "We're going hog hunting, right?" He's like, "No, I'm talking about going pick up big women." I'm like,
damn.
Oh, no, I'm okay. Like, I was like.
So he was specifically like, let's just go find a fat chick.
He's like, "I want to go find like this 300-400 pound girl that like we just guaranteed we can."
He's just a confidence booster. That's a good guy, dude.
Yeah. So, but I completely misread it. He's like, he's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I'm thinking like, we're going to go. I got the knife because I can't have a gun there. And I got the rope. And he just looks at me like I'm crazy. He's like, "No, man, we're just going to pick up some big, fat chicks." I'm like, "No, man." I was very confused. Very, very, very confused.
That's funny, though, man.
Yeah.
I never understood the guys that's like, I guess it's, an easier
it's
takedown, so to speak. But the guy that's just like, let's go.
Let's go do it,
That's interesting, man.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, Raymond, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me over here, dude. Like,
Raymond Alford. That's very like. I don't know. I feel like you should be like Raymond Alford the Third.
Well, so like my grandfather is Dan. My father's name is Danny Ray, and then they were gonna name me Ray, and then they went with Raymond. So
there you go. It's a very proper, elegant name.
I like it.
Raymond Alford, sire.
Right?
Let down the bridge, sire.
Yeah, man.
It's like royalty.
Right?
But yeah, man, it was great having you on. And guys, sorry about the episode delays. We've been consistent, but the audio messed up on the Jimmy episode for some reason, the Jari episode, and then the camera went out on the Miguel episode. So hopefully the audio and visual is up to par here. Looks like everything's running accordingly so far.
Yeah.
So no hiccups. But we will see you guys next week.
Awesome.
You want to smoke something? You've seen him perform all over LA. Give it up for Sean Madden, everybody.
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
This joke's not going to go well.